Respect for Marriage Act is heading to President Joe Biden's desk where it awaits his signature into law. Congress passed this landmark piece of legislation that protects gay and interracial marriage in reaction to the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. But some experts point to key limitations in the law, and they're warning conservative states could move to undercut it. Joining us now to discuss is family lawyer Waltzer Melcher. He's a partner at Waltzer Melcher. Good morning.
Morning, Renee.
So this historic bipartisan piece of legislation, it lets hundreds of thousands of same-sex and interracial couples nationwide breathe this huge sigh of relief knowing their marriage is protected. Now, can you tell me how significant is this bill that'll soon become law?
Well, what we're seeing here is really some cleanup legislation that, first of all, we still have the Defense of Marriage Act on the books that defines marriages between a man and a woman. And so under this new Respect for Marriage Act, it's making it gender neutral. It's just a marriage between two persons. And it leaves to the states to determine any other conditions that they want to put on the issuance of their marriage licenses, subject to constitutional and other restrictions against discrimination. The most important part of the bill is that if a marriage is validly entered into in one state, like say California, that marriage must be recognized by all other states in the U.S. So that provides a lot of protection in case the U.S. Supreme Court changes its mind on recognizing same-sex marriage as a constitutional right. And then third, the bill makes clear that religious organizations can choose which marriages they decide to officiate.
All right, and can we get a little into the weeds? Can you explain how exactly this Respect for Marriage Act protects same-sex and interracial marriages nationwide? There's some more detail there.
Sure. So when earlier in the year, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, the right to abortion that it recognized for 50 years, Justice Clarence Thomas, when he co-authored that opinion, said it may be time to re-examine whether same-sex marriage is also recognized by the U.S. Constitution. And the Supreme Court does decide what the Constitution says or doesn't say. So this was clearly a threat or a signal that the U.S. Supreme Court might re-examine its earlier decisions on same-sex marriage. So what the legislature is trying to do in Congress is to provide some kind of backstop here, some protection, just in case the court protection goes away, that there'll be protection at the legislative level. And that's super important because we really would go back to 10 years ago when same-sex couples were treated differently than opposite-sex couples when they would go to apply for a marriage license or want to enjoy any of the other rights that spouses would have. They were treated like second-class citizens.
And quickly, before we let you go, can you tell me just exactly how strong is this bill? Like, are marriages now really fully protected?
Well, we already have the protection of the U.S. Supreme Court decision. Under this bill, it does not say that same-sex marriages are protected. It just says that if a marriage is valid in one state, it has to be recognized all over the place. So it doesn't go as far as it could have, but it provides some protection.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That's family lawyer Waltzer Melcher. Thank you so much.
Thank you.